Hello and welcome to another Sandia Mountain Natural History Center quick trip. This one's not very quick. We are out near a place called Tapia Canyon, and that is near, I don't know where. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. When I say on all these videos we're out in the middle of nowhere, sometimes we're a little closer to nowhere than we think, but today we are really out in the middle of nowhere. Somewhere in northwestern New Mexico. Let's go get started. So we just came across one of the first panels of petroglyphs that this canyon is famous for. If you remember from some of our earlier videos, petroglyphs are etched into the rock, pictographs are painted on the rock. So these are petroglyphs, and there's quite a bunch of them all across the wall here. Some of the most impressive ones are these elk figures or deer figures. It's also interesting to note how high they are. That tells us something about the erosion that has taken place here. If I zoom out and pan down, you can see just how high up on the wall they are. So it's interesting here, the bottom of the stream bed is all this black rock. And I'll cut in a picture right here, but this is igneous rock here at the bottom of the canyon, where the canyon walls are all sandstone. Up here we have some ruins. It's really hard to tell what they are, and we are going to try and get closer or possibly fly the drone up there, but these are actually, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I've seen these other places up near Farmington and all, and they're often used as a lookout. They would have a really good vantage point over this canyon and the surrounding country for anybody coming in. So it was getting a little too windy to fly the drone, so we thought we would climb up and try and investigate that tower. But when we did that, came across this. That's just incredible. I've been to a lot of places where there are ruins and visited a lot of ruins, Chacoan Canyon, Aztec ruins, Mesa Verde, all these different places. But I've never come across ruins like this out in the wild. This is just really special and it's incredible. And you can see the cobble zone in the back. Be sure to check out their video of climbing that. This is just... There are also a whole bunch of these scattered around. So maybe that taller one that we saw earlier, maybe they're granaries for storing grain and stuff for the winter. It's really hard to tell. I will find out and post in the comments a theory on these. I know just the person to ask. This one has a inner ring, which I'm certainly no expert, but to me that suggests that this might possibly be a kiva. Now I am absolutely no expert, and I will try and find out and keep an eye on the comments It'll take a little bit of research for me to figure that out, but if I do, I will put it in the comments. The white spots on the rock here are indicative of a bird of prey, and with the good view over the canyon, you can see that this would be an excellent hunting spot. So you might be thinking that we transported ourselves magically to Utah and Arches National Park, but this is right here in New Mexico. And one of the cool things, right up here we can see some cliff swallow nests. So they're really cool creatures. They live on the cliff, make these mud nests, and have like fighter pilot type wings to them. So there's a slot canyon back here. There's a whole world behind this wall that's collapsed, and we're gonna go check it out. Here we're heading into our slot canyon. See if we lose Daniel in there. We've got some sort of bird of prey up here. That's what all that white is. And then just looking down, this canyon just keeps narrowing. We'll see what's at the end. So we gotta be really careful. We don't wanna spend any extended time in here, like maybe 127 hours. It is our sincerest desire that people are inspired to come out to places like this or to get out in nature, but this is really one that you got to come out and experience to get the real feel for it. I've never been in a slot canyon like this. This is incredible. I have no idea what this is or how it got there, but it's really cool. So we stopped for a minute for lunch and thought it would be a good idea to talk for a second about slot canyon safety. And probably the most important thing is to really check the weather before you come out and go into a slot canyon, because obviously this was carved by water. So there are times where water rushes through here, and you would not want to be in a place like this during a flash flood. But this has been one of the most incredible hikes that I've been on in a very long time. Anything up there, Daniel?
Not a nothing. Not open space, not a crevices back in here. Right home for some small animals. Looks back in here, some scat of some sort. Cool stuff.
No real quick trip was not complete without some coyote scat. We have one here, but if we pan over, we're going to see that's 2, 3, 4. That's juniper berries. 5 and 6. Big coyote battle going on here. This is how they mark their territory and advertise to other coyotes that I'm here. Quick trip.
Everyone always wants to know what the petroglyphs mean. And the fact is, there's many of them that we don't completely understand. Sometimes they demarcate sacred sites, warn people to beware, or indicate the presence of plants or animals. But I think it's not always that important to know what exactly they mean. It's just interesting to find them and to think about what these people's lives were like.
Right next to all these petroglyphs, we found this rock here with all these marks carved in the edge of it. It's just interesting to try and think of what they were doing. Daniel had a good thought. Maybe they were sharpening a stone or something in there, or who knows.
These ruins were left by the Chacoan people, who started living in the area in the mid-800s and were here for about 300 years. The Chacoan culture is shrouded in mystery, and there's a lot of unknowns about it, but this is what they call one of the outliers, because the main ruins of Chaco are about 100 miles away at Chaco Canyon National Historic Site. But this is a extremely windy ridgetop, and the Bureau of Land Management has come in and put these roofs on to preserve some of the ruins, but it's a remote and cool spot.
So we climbed down inside of this kiva, and it's pretty amazing. This post and the roof are obviously added later, but this is a kiva. We can come up here, circles around. It looks like double, triple walls. But what's always amazing to me about these is the masonry, how perfect these are. And then if we look on the ground here, people have collected and placed here potsherds, and it's critical that these stay here. But they're really awesome to look at.